Hi, love. So just know I had absolutely no sort of intention of doing your video today, but your guides are heavily demanding. I was literally just gonna lay on my bed, and I had already gotten, from the time that you said you purchased a past life view reading, they told me 3 days from that time. Why 3 days? I'm not sure. I feel like there's gonna be something significant that's going to go on within the next 3 days or 3 months, but I definitely got a clear number three as soon as you told me that you were going to book a past life reading with me. I did notice you didn't apply a chart, which is fine. I don't need it for the past life reading, but I kind of just like to see like how it correlates to your current lifetime. Like certain, like if I know you're a Scorpio sun, which Scorpios always like to, I feel like with Scorpio, the karma with Scorpio is that you have very, I don't want to say tough lifetimes, but they tend to be more based on darker themes like the occult, spiritualism, authoritarianism. Like with Scorpio, there's a very, very, I don't want to call it, there's an intense energy. That's what it is. It's in a very intense energy, and you've probably lived more than one intense lifetime. Now, I know you say that you have hard ties with Egypt, but I'm also getting Atlantis and Asia. And so what I like to do, before I continue carrying on my nonsense, what I like to do is I like to pick crystals that kind of I feel you need, or they're speaking to you in some way when I do past life readings. And the crystals that I picked out for you like blew me away, because I was like, some of these I forgot I even had, but just what they're relaying, the message that they're relaying and what they're telling me, is kind of no surprise why you're getting this. I feel like you're gonna have a very I don't know if it's like a 3-month ascension period, or this is going to be a 3-day ascension period, but there's going to be like a heavy information download for you within the next 3 days or 3 months. But I'm definitely getting the number 3 here. I'm also getting like a maternal figure. I don't know if this is your grandma or this is your great grandma, but there was also a woman here that wanted to let you know that she is around you, and that she's watching over you, not to worry about anything that's been going on at home. I don't know what your home life is, but this is just the message that I'm getting, and I'm just relaying it to you. But yeah, she's definitely watching over you. She says that when, like, I feel like there's little coincidences. Either you hear her name or a letter of her name or a song, and she pops up in your head. That's her telling her that she's here. So back to these crystals. Now, the first crystal I have is Numnite. Now, Numnite has some iridescent gold properties, and Numnite is technically the sorcerer's stone. By what I mean is the sorcerer's stone, it's considered a stone, a very, very powerful psychic stone, and this is personal magic. This is not like outwardly magic, but it's personal magic. And the thing with this stone is it's one of the oldest stones, and it's storm and earth magic. This is very, I don't know what your charge consists of. I feel like maybe you have hard water and earth, or fire and earth, because storm magic is fire magic. This is a stone of personal power, and it increases clairvoyance, and it's a very, very, it's a fierce protector. It's an intense stone. Not a lot of people are ever drawn to this stone because this is like a magician stone. I'm getting like goosebumps. Woo! It's the oldest crystal on earth. Now, I didn't have to be a psychic to know that that you are probably a very old soul. You feel very old. But just this crystal and the crystal that follows it, which is serpentine. This is serpentine, and this is the crystal of Kundalini awakening. Now, Kundalini energy is that sexual, like sacral energy, but it travels up and down the spine. So it's kind of like a snake going up your spine, and it's kind of to awaken. I'm getting like, ooh, like goosebumps. But I feel like it's your guides. But it's the earth mother as well. It's not just for the Kundalini energy, but it's also serpent power, and this is also that deep psychic magic and spiritual upgrades. I feel like this is why they're rushing me to do it. It's like, you need this information now. But yeah, it's a stone of, ooh, I don't know if it's it's a stone of deep spiritual upgrades, and it's like, just imagine a serpent going up your spine. This is very much like that. I'm sorry. Like I said, I was ready to go to sleep, and now I have to like plug in my phone. Let me just flip it really quick. Oh, that was fine. But yeah, it's a stone of like deep. Both of these stones are like very ancient. They're very like what do I say? They're powerful stones to work with. I feel like not a lot of people can work with these stones, and they're very. Both of these are very intense. I also picked lapis, which lapis is a stone of royalty. It's a stone of intuition. It's a stone of friendship, but it also has heavy ties in Egypt. I hear that lapis is related to Isis, so I feel like she's coming through. But it's also related to her temple. It was used to either, I feel like it was engage with her or contact her, but it was also very much in her temple. So these are very, very interesting. I'm going to go through them one more time in case you want to purchase some of these. This is Numnite. It's like a hard spiritual protector. This is Serpentine. And this is Lapis. Now, the other stone I have here is Kyanite. Now, Kyanite is more for me. It's more for past life recalls. I kind of use it to sleep with, or I keep it here. Excuse my closet. My closet's a mess. But I told you I was not planning on shooting this video today. It's for past life recall, and when it does that, it kind of just comes to me in bits and pieces, or I get like a book, or I get certain things. But with you, I automatically, it was like they were telling me to relay this message to you, but in a past life you were blind. I don't know if you suffer from eyesight, your like eyesight problems right now, or in the future you might have like the more you connect with your third eye, your vision will start to deteriorate. But you were blind. You were a blind oracle. I'm getting this lifetime in Atlantis, but if this is one of the lifetimes that pops up, I'll go deeper into it. But I'm getting told to relay this message to you, that I feel like you felt you were blind in a lifetime because your gifts are very strong. It could kind of make you lose touch with reality sometimes, but just know that this has been following you for a very, very long time. But yeah, I'm getting this blind oracle in Atlantis, and she has she's blind, but one of her eyes is physically gone. So I don't know if you suffer from like hard vision on, like less vision on one eye. It's like dramatically different, by the way. But she was blind, but one of her eyes is literally, I see it like covered. Like there was an accident when she was young, and like the vision on that eye is very, very deteriorated, almost gone. And she doesn't wear a patch in it, but she has very, very long like dark hair, but she has one strip of white. I got this lady very much and she's holding this book. She reminds me very much of the High Priestess in tarot, but this is like an old book of magic. So if you dream of being this lady, just know that she's here, she's present, and ooh, I'm getting shivers, and she wants you she wants you to communicate with her. So this is the past life oracle. Let me show you the box. I have everything everywhere, by the way. Like I said, I wasn't planning on shooting this video today. This is a past life oracle by Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss. I got this years ago, by the way. When I feel like when she was still making oracle decks, but I got it more for Brian Weiss because he's kind of like the godfather of like past life recall, past life regression. And so, sorry, love, I kind of had to step away for a sec because my daughter needed me. But as I was saying, this is kind of like when Aang channels certain lifetimes and he gets like clarifications for lessons. I feel like we have already gone through certain lessons, maybe more amplified, maybe more diluted in past lifetimes. And depending on how we did, they either are amplified or diluted in the current lifetime. I always say, like, if you had a relative or somebody that did you wrong in a past lifetime, they will immediately reincarnate in your current lifetime to kind of clear out that karma. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ask what lifetime directly correlates to Ebon's current lifetime. What lifetime directly correlates? You want to speak? What lifetime? Amused but not surprised. I feel like this is gonna be an extensive read. Like, I feel it. What? Oh, man. Oof. Some good stuff here. Oof. I'm gonna show you these cards. This is definitely gonna be an extensive read. But I guess you wanted all the tea, and your guides are like, you're gonna get all the tea. Ooh, yeah, you are going to get the tea, love. What lifetime? Oh man, it's gonna be a long video. What lifetime directly correlates to events? Current. Oh man, didn't I say Asia? Oh my god. Well, love, pray for me because this is gonna be one long read. Oh man. Ooh, Jesus Christ. So, I'm gonna give it one more shuffle before your guides try to kill me with how much I'm about to drop. Directly correlates. Oh my god. That is not what I think it is. No! I'm deceased here. Alright, love. You wanted all the tea? You got all the tea. Okay. Now, when I said your guides were demanding, they are demanding. Alright, so... Jesus Christ. I promise you I've never had an extensive read like this. Okay, let me see, where do I start? So let's start in the first one that I mentioned, you being the blind oracle. Remember I said that I felt like you had a past life in Atlantis? It's here. You were born blind in this lifetime. I feel like these two cards are kind of with one another. You were born blind in this lifetime. Not completely blind, but as you got older, I'm seeing a temple. I'm seeing a very, very large temple. I'm going to try to draw it for you so I can show you what I'm seeing. This is probably the longest past lifetime I will ever do, but sometimes people only get one. You literally have 4, 5. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so the temple is kind of guarded by large crystals. Sorry for the squeaky chair. But the temple is kind of guarded by large crystals. These are the crystals. And it's really strange because they say astrology has not... It's ancient, but it's... people don't know how far back it goes. But I feel like with this, people knew you were going to be born. There was kind of like a prediction of like... kind of like they use constellations to predict what... Not like the sex of the baby, but more of what energy he would embody. That's what it is. And with you, I'm getting the serpent. So that kind of makes sense with this, and it kind of, all your lifetimes kind of just jump around because this also correlates with Asia. But with you, I'm getting like, I'm a horrible drawer, by the way. With you, you were birthed here, and it's like there's water around here. So all of this is water. I should have just written it down. Water, crystals. The big pillars are crystals. And then here, it's kind of like stone. So, water, crystal, crystal, water. And here, it's just stone. And there's kind of like a... There's like one big... There's one big like walkway here. And over here, they have a deity. This deity kind of feels... It feels very ancient, but... It's not Poseidon. This deity is a lot older than Poseidon. This is not even like touching that Greco-Roman era, but it's definitely a deity of water. And they kind of knew what sign you would be born into, and depending on that, they would kind of guide your life. This is how it feels. Like in this big, I feel like maybe you've had a dream of this place, but it's a very, very big structure, and it's kind of like self-illuminating. I feel like the crystals themselves radiate this this energy that illuminates the place. Now, your mother, I don't know if you're very, very attached to your mother during this lifetime, or your grandma. I told you I was getting like an older woman energy, but she passed. She passed during childbirth, and you were orphaned. So I have here baby, and I also have, as I'm going through lifetimes, I'm just gonna pick up, and you were orphaned. So I feel like you were also a Scorpio during this lifetime. Like I told you, you were this, I feel like when you were born, your mother immediately passed, and your father was either one of the head monks in the temple, but automatically from the time that you were born, you were deemed an oracle because you couldn't see. Your vision wasn't all the way there. And you were born with a very, I don't know if you have a birthmark on your head, but there's like, they're showing me like something on your head that will eventually be that white part in front of your hair. And you have very, very dark hair during this lifetime. You never cut it. For whatever reason, there's an affinity to your hair, and a lot of these people believe that part of that mysticism that you carry with you is engraved in your hair. Like your hair is very, very long. It's very long, it's very dark, except for that one piece of white. And like I said, you really can't see because I think I don't know if this is your left eye. I don't know if you have like issues with your left eye right now, but you really can't like you can kind of see. I'm calling you blind because you are basically blind, except for like some issue that happened in your eye when you were young. I feel like either you fell or you tripped on the temple, and like your eye, I don't know if you're having dreams of this, but like your eye suffers and you are kind of like permanently blind from this eye, and you really can't see from this eye. But from very, very young, they classify you as an oracle, and you spend a lot of time in this temple. I'm seeing you from the ages of maybe like 3 or 4. I don't know if at that age you had a significant life event, but from the ages, I'm gonna write it down because I forget. From the ages of 3 or 4, they already knew that you would be this oracle that would, you don't live in the temple, but you spend a lot of time in this temple. And your father eventually passes away, I feel like at the age of 14, because I'm getting 14. So I don't know if you had a significant falling out with your father, or your father is no longer in your life or in the picture, or there was some event that happened at the age of 14 that kind of rocked your relationship. But I'm seeing here that he passed away at 14. And you were taken care of by kind of these people, since your dad held like a significant position in here. He kind of they kind of took you in. There's a woman here. I don't know if this is an aunt that you might be close to, but there's a woman here. She was male during this lifetime. She will represent very strong male qualities during this lifetime, but she was here and she was taking care of you, and she was teaching you like things related to this. She might be a highly religious person now, but during this lifetime she was more oriented on this. And you kind of grew up kind of the way you do divination, I'm sorry, is you're scrying in water, and you spend a lot of time in this temple because of the waters that are here. There are people that are very afraid of you during this lifetime, so you might hold a lot of enemies. You were also Scorpio during this lifetime. I feel like now you will have a lot of enemies, or a lot of people will be afraid of your gifts. I feel like most of these people are family, because I do get a couple of family members here that they weren't your family during this lifetime, by the way. They were kind of more of like people that lived here. And I wish I could show you, because I'm gonna pretend like I can draw, but I'm getting the place that Atlantis is this is Asia, and it's not like where people say the Bermuda Triangle is, but there's literally, it was like a little island in between Asia and Africa. Like, is it Asia and Africa? No, it's between Africa. I'm really bad at maps, but it's somewhere in between Asia, and this is where Atlantis was, and this is where you were. And I feel like after there's these people that fear you. They are definitely scared of your gifts, and a lot of these people, made your life hard from a very, very young age. I feel like there was a lot of suffering here, and there's a lot of suffering in a lot of these lifetimes, by the way, just as I'm looking at them. But there was a lot of suffering during these lifetimes, and it just kind of felt like there was always something against you, but you rose against that. And I feel like a lot of that had to do with your spirituality and your connectedness. Even as the blind oracle, it felt like you had something that continuously called you through it. And I'm feeling it from all these lifetimes too, by the way. You died at a very, very old age here. You were maybe like 84, so I feel like you can expect a long life during this current time. But there's issues with your lungs. So I don't know if right now you suffer from asthma or from anything related to that, but there's issues with your lungs. Now, I have a lifetime over here that I'm not even surprised. I have Egypt, and I have monk or nun. I also have, wait, where is it? I'm getting the ones that are at the bottom, by the way. Male or female. So I feel like, I know you're non-binary during this lifetime, but that's also because your soul has switched out so many times. You are a woman also here in Egypt, by the way. I'm feeling like you don't work, but you work in the temples, and you don't have one specific temple that you work for. I'm seeing 3. I don't know. I know you are very attached to Isis, but there's also Osiris, and then there's Anubis here as well. So you've kind of switched out in bodies more than once, and during this lifetime in Egypt, you really were not about dating anybody. I'm getting unrequited love. There was somebody here that wanted to be with you, but your work was very, very focused on this. I feel like you also, I don't know if you're particularly attracted to the mummies, but I'm getting that you would spend a lot of time, like, this is what you're doing. You're in preparation to kind of transition them into the next lifetime. It very much feels like you are either watching over the people doing the transitioning and praying over these bodies, but you're very much involved in this process. I'm actually not even surprised because of, you know, your heavy Scorpio energy. I'm saying that you're Scorpio, and I'm hoping I'm correct. But there's like the need to be close to that otherworldly has always been present. And during this lifetime, it feels like you're in like ceremonial preparation. I have monk here. You're in ceremonial preparation to kind of take these people into their next phase of life. And I feel like that's very much related to what you currently do. You're kind of helping them ascend themselves in some sort of way. You live a very long lifetime here. I want to know who this person that I'm seeing here is. Where's my tarot deck? I want to know who this person that I'm seeing here is. I don't know if he's gonna be a karmic for you, but it very much feels that way, because I feel like you're not returning their affections. Like, you might have already dealt with them. I don't know if you've dated an Aquarius, or this person is going to be an Aquarius, because I have the star card here. Oh, yeah, they're going to be an air, because look, they have a very heavy air sign influence. Oh, God. Yeah, it's going to be very hard to kind of release them, because I'm getting the star, I'm getting King of Swords, and I'm getting the World reversed. So this person will be an Aquarius or an air sign, and they're going to be, even Gemini. I feel like you're going to have a heavy attachment to a Gemini, but they're going to be very hard to release because they are a karmic from this lifetime. They have, I feel like in this lifetime, they constantly pursued you, and they were in your inner circle of the people that were working with mummification. I'm getting herbal work too. I feel like I'm seeing them, like there's a big stone bed, and everybody's kind of preparing, and like I'm calling it embalming, but it's nothing like that. They're preparing it for mummification, and you are kind of bringing in, watching them do it, but you're also blessing the herbs and blessing what's like happening here. You're very loved here. I feel like a lot of close friendships that you have formed during this current lifetime were from the people that were working here. I feel like you're going to have a strong support when it comes to your work and what you actually do. Sorry, love, I got interrupted again. But like I was saying, they're going to be mystics as well. and they're gonna be like a very close support system. I feel like I could call them your soul tribe. They definitely feel like that. There's also Sagittarius here. I don't know if you know a Sagittarius or you will know a Sagittarius, but they're gonna be very helpful in your work. I see this person very much like your right hand, the fire to your loin. Like, this person is very much a support system for you, and they will support you in a lot of what you do. Now, I'm getting over here because, ooh, I told you it's gonna be a long read. I have biblical here, so I feel like your soul is so ancient, and I'm getting drawn to phobias. Where's phobias? Phobias. I'm getting drawn to phobias. So, phobias and hunger. But your soul is very ancient, and if you feel like you were walking with Jesus, it's probably because you were. During this lifetime, this is Israel, I'm getting for sure. I'm feeling like it was, I don't know if you're afraid of like not having enough food, not having enough water. There's like a fear of like or maybe it's just like a fear of religion, but there's definitely a phobia that might plague you, or that plagued you when you were younger, that's coming from biblical times. There's a lot of famine and a lot of suffering during this time, and I feel like you kind of look to your faith for this. I'm feeling like you were a small boy during this lifetime. You were very young, and you kind of, I feel like you were overcome by the elements. I feel like your parents aren't present. This isn't a very nice lifetime, and I feel like you witnessed some of what was going on with Jesus Christ. I definitely feel like either you were in that same time period and you might have seen him, or you were, yeah, I feel like you were just in the same time period. And I feel like this is a lot different than what we are told in the Bible. I do feel like it's very hot. I feel very hot. And you are kind of by yourself. I don't know if you have this. This is what it is. It's a fear. It's like a fear of abandonment, or a fear of not having enough, or a fear of like people kind of just dropping and leaving. But it definitely feels like it was coming from this time. You were a very young boy. I feel like you were 4 or 5 when you passed away during this lifetime. And again, I'm getting that number 4. I don't know if it's telling you something about stability, or the actual number 4, something that happened when you were 4, when you were young. But you were very young when you passed during this lifetime, and it just feels like there was just so much suffering going on, and you awakened very early. It feels like during this lifetime you woke up very early because of the amount of suffering that was going on. I see you roaming from place to place. I feel like people are so harsh. I feel sad, but people were very harsh. They were very cruel to orphans during this time, and it makes me feel like very abandoned and very alone. And I feel like even though this was going on, you still found hope. Like, at your passing, you pass away peacefully with very little resentment, because yeah, you were like 4 or 5. You were passing, I'm sorry, it's like really hard, but you passed away with very little resentment, and you kind of just accepted that this was the world that you were brought into, and that you would be leading something better in the next lifetime. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting that you knew that there would be something better for you next lifetime. And yeah, that one was a little hard. I also have Asia here. Asia, trees, and leaving or travel. You have 2 more lifetimes to go, by the way. So in Asia, I feel like, ooh, Lord, you're a woman during this lifetime. Yeah, you feel very female. This is like, I don't feel like this is like a, let's see what I'm feeling. Ooh, scarcity. You're a woman during this lifetime, and you're leaving. You're a very beautiful woman, by the way. And you're very flirtatious too. Even though you were, oof, yeah, you're a very flirtatious woman, and I feel like you found spirituality through sexuality in this lifetime. This is very much what it's feeling like. Yeah. So you live this lifetime in Asia, and let me show you what I have. I have the Four of Pentacles. That's money. The Four of Swords reversed. That's kind of like money and instability. And the King of Pentacles, it's what you're doing. So you were working, if you know what I mean. It was like a life of poverty here as well. I feel like you've experienced poverty and hunger in multiple lifetimes. But you were a very beautiful woman, and you were working in, I don't want to say this is a brothel, but that's what it feels like. In the capital. This is feeling like Thailand. I don't know if you have like strong connections in Thailand or you want to visit Thailand, but this is feeling like in Thailand you were working in like what appears to be like an underground brothel. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. And you were like head up there, girl. This feels like people wanted to, you had this kind of like vibrant, mysterious aura about you that people were naturally attracted to. And again, you have a lot of enemies in this lifetime. I don't know if you currently have a lot of enemies, but in this lifetime there was a lot of women that kind of just didn't want to see you succeed. Like you were making enough to be like by yourself and like having your own things here, and a lot of them were jealous because you were kind of top up there. I feel like the lessons in your lifetime revolve around your ascension. They revolve around your sexuality and your spirituality. They revolve around like kind of like finding meaning in the darkness is what I'm getting. Like I feel like a lot of these lifetimes were very harsh and they kind of made you awaken a lot earlier, and the next one is already feeling a little off. But yeah, you definitely worked in something in this area, and I feel like there's someone here that will backstab you in your current lifetime. I want to know who it is because I'm getting visions of you getting literally stabbed. Like you were in your like 23, 24. So this might have already happened. I'm gonna put them to the side, by the way. This might have already happened, but this woman was very much jealous and very much envied what you had during this lifetime. I don't know if you were afraid of sudden deaths, but Seven of Swords, kind of were releasing and challenging. Oh, she might be a water sign. I'm saying she, but they might be a water sign. And they might come off as like, as kind of more logical, kind of not overly emotional, but deep inside, baby, they're bubbling. They don't want to see you reach a certain level, and I feel like that's currently happening right now, that there's somebody that you know in the dark that doesn't want to see you succeed. And I would just be very careful because the backstabbing might just be minimal during this lifetime, but in the past lifetime it was up there. Baby, you have been all around the world. I have Celtic, I have spouse, I have Greco-Roman, and I have knighthood. So you were a knight in the Greco-Roman era. I also I'm feeling you male in the Celtic era. And I don't know, this is where you will meet or you have met your divine counterpart in this era. This person, I feel like they're going to be either a Libra or a Taurus, because I'm feeling very heavy romance and like romantic vibes from here. But this will be a lifetime partner for you. I feel like you're gonna meet them, if you haven't already met them, maybe later in your 20s, maybe even early 30s. But this person will come off very romantic. They're very strong-headed for sure, and they're just gonna feel like home. It definitely feels like during these two lifetimes they weren't as hectic and chaotic as the past ones, and that's because you had to go through these lifetimes to get here. I feel like this was very much the the icing on the cake. And now for your current lifetime, you're coming into that place right now. I feel like part of you meeting this person is going to be you completely owning your gifts. I feel like there's still some gifts that you struggle with accepting. I feel like there's a lot more on your plate that you haven't found yet. And it's gonna, I feel like part of it is gonna have to do with you connecting with the woman in Asia, the woman and the woman in Atlantis. This woman is really, really beautiful, by the way. I keep seeing her. Like, she's very, very pretty, long, dark hair. She really likes, this is a flower I'm seeing. I'm not really sure which flower. It's not a hibiscus. It kind of looks like a hibiscus, though. It's like, man, I'm going to try to draw it, and I hope you recognize it. I don't know if it's one of your favorite flowers, but it very much looks like a hibiscus. And it's, oh, this is going to be, yeah, I'm not going to do that. It very much looks like a hibiscus, and I feel like if you offer this to her, or you kind of take a look at the image, I would look up Asian, like, flowers that originate in Asia, and it's a really red, pretty flower. It's very similar to a rose, but it's not a rose. If you offer this to her, you recalling will be a lot easier. But I feel like she has some knowledge revolving around like sensuality and sexuality, and that she can give you, that it's gonna heighten your process. I feel like that's why also like the Kundalini stone is calling you, because it's like a snake. It originates from a place where we experience sexuality all the way up. But like I said, for you to meet this counterpart, you're going to have to kind of connect with these energies and kind of really own them. I feel like maybe within the next 3 days or 3 months, you will simultaneously regress. That's what I'm getting, because that's why I had so many lifetimes after lifetimes. I've never had this many lifetimes in a reading, by the way. I've never had so many, like, so much come to the front. I don't know if you're life path 5, but I'm also being shown the number 5. But number 5 is also about change, transition, and making something that will outlive you. And I know that's a lot, but I feel like you're ready to hear it, and that's why I got pushed into doing this reading. That's literally what it feels like. It feels like I got pushed. But yeah, so I want to see what the overall message for you is. I'm going to use, this is actually a new deck that I have that I'm still learning how to use. And it's kind of for that internal awakening. The images are supposed to trigger something psychological in your brain. They're supposed to trigger something psychological in your brain for like an ascension. Kind of like an ascension, but it's supposed to be like a deeper recognizing of yourself. Oh. Oof. What did I say? Oh my god, I'm so excited for you. So let me show you the cards. So I have Mercury, I have Ally, and I have Soma. So let me get, I haven't fully memorized these, by the way, but from the snakes, I already feel like it's related to the Kundalini energy. I feel like that's a rebirth. That's, with Mercury, it's communication, but it's also the snakes, like in rebirth. I feel like you're coming into, yeah, you're definitely coming into an awakening, but you have to learn how to communicate these things. I feel like for you, communication might be an issue, or you just need to strengthen how you communicate things to the masses. I feel like that's a big one, like how you communicate things to everyone else. It's truth, unity, concept of masculinity, two separate entities intertwined. So it's masculinity, femininity intertwining within, and then they go around the staff 3 times, the sexual center. What did I say? Kundalini energy. What did I say? Oh, I don't need this book. Spiritual fulfillment, enlightenment, sudden moments of deep realization. And these stones that I chose for you were very, very much like deep within. I feel like they're saying you have so much more magic to give, and you just need to own that. You have a creature. Wow, so this creature is an ally. The ally is a form of basic raw Kundalini fire. What did I say? I feel like you have to connect to this Kundalini energy. And it says, it's in an untransformed state, and it's a psychic tool. Like they're all kind of leading back to this. I don't know if you study Kundalini or you have this stone, by the way. I've meditated with it, and I feel like that's why I was chosen to relay this message, because I've meditated with that stone, and the actual, like, the feeling you get when you meditate with the stone is like nothing. And then the Soma, it's an intuition and imagination card. Dream world and realm and visionary experience. So it's a mirage or shadow, and you have to, I feel like, yeah, this is definitely an awakening, another awakening for you. I feel like it's completely giving yourself up, not in like a physical form, but giving yourself up to the higher, to that energy, so that you can kind of be one with it and clearly communicate with it. I feel like you're definitely going through an ascension period right now, and there's a beast. I call it a beast, but it definitely feels like some sort of ancient guide. I feel like you should meditate on this image, by the way. Some ancient guide that's very, very powerful, that is willing to kind of take you that route. And I feel like you are going to have to either meditate with the stone or meditate on it. But thank you so much for booking with me, love. This video is gonna be freaking long, but your guys wanted it. This ancestor that I'm getting wants it. Sorry for so much like delay and stuff. Like I said, I wasn't really planning on doing this video, but thank you so much, honey, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.